The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sports Insider. My name is Glenn Spillman, and for those of you watching to my left, it is Shawn Allen, and we are coming at you live out of Boston, Massachusetts from Armed Radio Global. And for those of you who would like to check us out, why don't you, Shawn, tell them how to download the app.
You go to the Google Play or the iStore, and you go and you download the TuneIn app, and then you go to Armed Radio Global. You'll see this cute little blonde-headed girl, and you click on that, and you should be able to listen.
Bam! Hey, that guy. Welcome to the show. We've got, not only do we have people in Boston listening, but we've got all people. Connecticut's watching. We've got people watching us as well as listening to us, and we've got an awesome show tonight. For those of you who would like to follow us on social media, on Facebook, we're Sports Insider Online. On Twitter, it's Sports Insider 03. And also, you can go to our webpage that is now up and running live, and it is sportsinsideronline.com. And you could also go and see the shows. That way, there's a listen live button, so you could also go that way, and it'll take you straight to Armed Radio Global. I do want to say we got some interesting stuff tonight. We always have interesting stuff, but tonight we're coming in at the tail end of the NFL season, so we're going to be talking about the MVP race. We're going to be talking about some Pro Bowl action. A little bit of tomorrow night's game. We're going to be talking to some MMA as well as a couple stories in the MLB. You are listening to us live in Boston, so we're going to touch on the Red Sox. We're going to touch on the Patriots, of course. And Boston fans love their sports, man.
Yes.
I don't care what sport it is, hockey, football, basketball. It's a championship town, man. They have won championships in all sports, and that is something that not too many cities can claim. Absolutely not. I mean, Yankees are one that could do that. Boston, of course. You've got L.A. They can do that as well. Dodgers have won a World Series. Lakers have won plenty. The Kings have won a couple.
So you got this guy over here, Connor, who's from Connecticut.
Yeah, Connor's from Connecticut.
Patriots fan, a Celtics fan, and a Yankee fan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Connor from Connecticut. We've got people watching
San Francisco,
from Roseville, and San Francisco. Connor is a Patriots fan, a Red Sox fan, and he also says he is a Yankees fan. I do not know how a Yankee fan could be a Boston fan at the same time. I'm interested to know how that even works. That's blasphemy right there, Stephen A. Smith would say. And anyone that lives in Boston as a Boston fan would say that. And we got the little happy hour going. So here we go. Bam, right there. Yeah, we got a cold brew rolling out at me, nice and fresh. I love it when the engineer and the staff here gets me a nice cold brew. So let's get right into it. Several weeks ago, Aaron Rodgers said, and people thought he was freaking nuts. And I said, if anyone could do it, it could be Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers said that the Packers could run the table. That's what he said. And well, so far they've done that.
They've got a couple more games.
They've won 4 in a row. They've improved to 8-6. Yes, they do have a couple more games, but
unfortunately, 10-6 will get them into the playoffs. I don't think. 9-7 and 8-8, they're not going to do it. I don't think. They didn't do it last year in the NFC.
Okay, so here's the thing: they got the Vikings,
right?
Which is they're sucking freaking big time, and you have the Detroit Lions, which they're not really sucking, but they're right on the cusp of sucking. But they're just not a good team. The Vikings have to go to Lambeau Field. They're going to lose.
Right.
Now Green Bay has to go to Detroit.
See, here's the thing.
And they're going to beat them.
If they win both of those games,
yes,
they get into the playoffs. But if they lose one of those games, they may have to depend on somebody else to either win or lose to get them in.
Well, let me ask one of our studio audience members, ma'am. Do you think that the Green Bay Packers the table? Yes or no? In your summation, she's not a Green Bay Packer fan. She's more of a looks like Dallas Cowboys, judging by that star. Do you think that they're going to run the table? Yes? No? She says yes. She gives me the thumbs up. I agree with her. I think the Vikings are going to lose, and they're going to lose big. Detroit, I really don't think Detroit's going to give them any trouble. Detroit, I mean, who do they have, really, that's going to... You think Stafford is going to carry him on his back? I don't think so. I really don't, bro. And
it's a division game. Usually in division games, you can throw everything else out the window.
Well, I think that the Packers are going to get it done. And when we talk about the MVP race, you will see what I'm talking about, and you will see why Rodgers is in the mix. So, I mean, Detroit is slightly edging them. Now, granted, Green Bay is under them 8-6. Detroit's 9-5. Well, Detroit, they've been stumbling and struggling. So their last two games are at Cowboys, and then, of course, versus the Packers. They're going to lose the Cowboys game, and they are going to lose the Packer game. So now you've got the Packers jumping ahead. So the Detroit's going to be 9-7, and the Packers are going to be 10-6. That's going to be good enough for them to slide right on into the playoffs. And once you get to the playoffs, so we got Harley, and she is watching us on live.me, and she says, "Hey, I'm back again like last night." Harley, thank you very much. And also, Harley, let me let you guys know, again, for those of you who are just tuning in, we are also on Arms Radio Global live right now out of Boston, Massachusetts. So if you guys want to catch and listen to that, download the TuneIn app, look for Arm Radio Global, boom.
Connor says his grandpa's a big-time Yankees fan, and his grandma's a big-time Celtics fan, so that's kind of explaining how that happened. Another race over here that I want to keep an eye on is the Atlanta Falcons and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Falcons better not think that Tampa Bay's done. They better stay on the gas pedal, because Tampa Bay will creep up behind them.
Yeah, but Tampa Bay, they can creep up. Now, Tampa Bay has 2 games left, everybody pretty much, but it's at Saints. Can they win that one?
Yeah.
It's at the Saints, though. You just got done telling me before the show, and you were talking to Connor over here, you guys were debating on, if Prescott is better for a Pro Bowl selection than Breeze, over Breeze. But, and I will say this, though.
It's a division game, like I said.
They did beat the Saints prior. I think the Saints will take this one, split it. Panthers, that's going to be an interesting game.
Did they beat the Panthers already?
So, well, let's talk a little bit of MVP race.
Okay.
So, MVP action, you've got, there's the top 10. I'm going to go over the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now. So, I will just read you the top. Now, before, especially with the ESPN magazine with Derek Carr, Mr. MVP, they were crowning his glory right there. Now, the top 10 as it stands right now with most of the poll results, good old Boston Tom Brady. So, Tom Brady's number 1.
Tom Brady's number 1.
Derek Carr is number 2. You've got Ezekiel Elliott, number 3. You got Matt Ryan, number 4, and sliding right in at number 5, you've got Aaron Rodgers. So, to argue some of their positions, if you will, Cowboys' Ezekiel Elliott, he has 310 carries for 1,551 yards. Okay? That's mucho bueno. Average is 5. His longest run is 60 yards, and he's got 13 TDs. That's pretty freaking impressive. Yes. Yes. Because in the top 5, he's got 4 quarterbacks and only 1 running back. Not too many. Nobody can touch Elliott right now, as far as stats go. Not even.
Backs, no.
Huh?
As far as running backs, no.
Okay, Harley says Cowboys shouldn't bring Romo in. Dak is doing fine. No, they should not. Now, here's the thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't think I am. A lot of teams will say, okay, we've clinched, a playoff berth. We're good to go. We're in. We can lose the rest of the season. We're in. We're good. A lot of those teams will rest their star players and put in second-string players and flip a coin and see if they win the last few games of the season. Am I wrong?
You're probably right on that. What I don't agree with, honestly, is Brady's missed 4 games. Okay? Carr has more attempts, more yards, more touchdowns. He has 4 more interceptions. Okay? And I think Brady should be up there, but I think, just judging by that, I think that Carr is not because I'm a Raider fan, it's because Carr has more stats.
Well, here's the thing, and you cannot deny this.
Oh, no, Brady's number 2.
No.
Sure.
No, forget numbers. Tom Brady is the golden child of the NFL. You know how in the MMA, Dana White, UFC has his children. The NFL has Tom Brady. Tom Brady is squeaky clean. He doesn't get in trouble. He has, it seems, the perfect life, the perfect wife, the perfect everything. I mean, he is the golden child. But here's the thing.
What does that have to do with
it? Has everything to do with it. It has popularity. It has everything to do with it. And I'll tell you why. How many rings has Derek Carr won? None. How many rings has Brady won? He's creeping right up next to freaking Joe Montana, man.
4?
One more, and he is the almighty. So here's the thing. That has a lot to do with that. And, people that are watching on Periscope and everywhere else, chime in and let us know what you think. So let's go over the stats. Tom Brady, yes, he missed the first 4 games. Absolutely. But here's what they're looking at. Okay?
He shouldn't even be able to qualify for the MVP because he missed 4 games.
Let's just go. You said that you said like 30 seconds ago,
right.
Stats. So let's do stats. Let's just play that we are on the deciding factor. And we've got Derek Carr standing in front of us and Tom Brady standing in front of us. And they each hand us a resume. Here you go, sir. Here you go, sir. Here's our resume. So, Brady has 248 out of 372. Okay? He's got 3,064 yards on the year. His average is 8.24 yards. He's got 22 TDs. His longest throw is 79 yards, and he's got 2 interceptions. Okay? That's his resume. That's his argument. Right in front of us. Okay?
Right.
So Derek Carr comes up, and he's acting very confident, and he's like, oh, man, I got this, brother. I'm 336 out of 529. I've got almost twice as many attempts as Brady, and he's completed more in the previous number. So he's got 3,705 passing yards. Very good. His average is 7. It's almost 2 yards less than Brady. He's got 3 more TDs, 25, and he has 4 more interceptions. So let's just start at the beginning. If I was Brady, I'd be like, look, brother, I've got 3,064 yards. He's got about 600 and some odd yards more than me. I'll give him that. But here's my argument on that. I was out 4 games.
Right. So in that argument, he shouldn't even qualify for the MVP race because he can't play a complete season.
He's got the numbers, though. And his argument would be like, I'll tell you what, brothers. If I had, let's just say for the sake of math, I only had 200 yards per game. So that puts me at 800 yards. So that puts me at 3,864 to his 37. He's got more passing yards by what ifs. Now,
I'm just saying
Carr will take it on the TDs, but then Brady would be like, well, if I was in the game, I would have just say 2 TDs per game. That's another 8 TDs.
Because
so then
you were suspended for 4 games, you shouldn't qualify for the MVP.
Then he would have 30 TDs. Okay, someone says he's right. Sadly, it's definitely a numbers game versus the games played. Thank you very much. So, if you have, say he missed the 4 games, but say he has numbers. So, my argument is, and Brady's argument would be, all right, I missed 4 games. I got suspended, and here's the thing. I'm better than him, and I missed 4 games. You know? And so that's the argument. And people that are making these votes are thinking like me and everyone that's watching and every Patriots fan on the planet is saying, look at what Brady did, and he missed 4 games. And you're saying, okay, what did he get suspended for?
The play game?
Was that his fault? Was he suspended for rape or freaking a DUI or anything like that? He got suspended for something that he directly did not do. Plain and simple.
But in any case, he was suspended.
Doesn't freaking matter.
Okay.
In my estimation. But make your argument to me.
Well, I'm saying, okay, so right now, as it stands, he's about 636 yards ahead of...
Welcome, Elena. It is your first day on Periscope. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. So you got 636 yards to separate them.
Yes.
So we'll say the last 2 games... Each of them are probably going to throw for about 300 to 400 yards, probably a piece. We'll say 300 to 350 for each of them. So when it comes down to the end of the season, Carr is still going to be based upon what he's played and what Carr's played. He's still going to be 700 yards ahead, more attempts, more touchdowns. We'll say. Are they waiting to the season ends to say who the MVP is, or are they going to? Is that going to happen? Are they going by all 16 games?
All right, let's look at this. The last game, Carr threw for 213 yards.
Right.
Okay, if the next 2 games he's on par with that, and he throws for 426 yards. Okay, for the next 2 games.
Right.
Brady is going to do more like 250, 300, and he's going to surpass that in the last 2 games. So if you want to say, all right, let's look at the last 2 games that Carr did and the last 2 games that Brady did, and by that, he's going to do the exact...
There'll still be about 400 yards separating them. If you added 426 to his, and you added like 600 to Brady's, that's 3664, and you got 4105.
Okay, so we can't say it wasn't his fault because he wasn't caught. All right. So let's go.
Fine.
No, let's derail rules and then from being qualified. All right, I have said this before because I played I played wide receiver, I played quarterback, and then when I got bigger, I played defense, and I felt. I almost said something that sounds bad. I felt many footballs. I better clarify that. Footballs, and they have a feel to them. Just like a basketball has a feel to it and a bounce to it. So when you feel that, and we all know, let's talk science. When the molecule, when it is hot, the molecules speed up, so it expands. When it is cold, molecules slow down, and therefore it could be a softer ball. But before each and every game, the Patriots bring their own balls, and the other team bring their own balls. There is a freaking equipment manager that inflates the balls to a certain PSI, and he or she checks them, okay? Right. And they bring it out. Somebody, somewhere, allegedly, said we're going to let a little bit of air out because it's going to help him grip the ball better. And if I didn't freaking touch the ball, so I can't freaking feel it. But if a ref picks it up and is like, hey, wait a minute, and the ref touches balls a lot, but not as much as freaking Brady does. Brady touches a lot of balls. And
I'm saying, okay, I hear you on that. I'm just saying, based upon the projected yards, Carr would end up with 41-26. Brady would be 36-64. So there's still going to be almost about 400.
All right, so let's just do it. Okay, what happens if Derek Carr throws 1 TD per game and Brady throws 3 TDs per game? So he's got 6 more TDs.
So what I'm saying in the end is if it's close between the both of them, because of Brady winning 4 rings prior years, that's going to give him the MVP this year.
Apparently,
I don't think that's good. That should be a crazy. By the way, someone Connor over here mentions, how come David Johnson's not in the top 5 MVP? This guy has had 100 yards or more combined rushing and receiving. In some games, he's had more than 100 yards rushing.
Okay, here's the argument for Derek Carr. He's playing on an 11-3 team.
Yeah. He's
playing on a team that hasn't made the playoff in 14 freaking years. Okay, that's his argument. His fourth quarter performances, mucho bueno. Very good. So he's a gunslinger type. So that's his argument. I'm personally going for Carr as well. Brady, he's played 10 games. The other candidates have played 14. That's your argument there. Okay? But if you don't mind that, then Brady's your guy. So his numbers projected over 16 games would end up at 4,902 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. And he's 9-1. That's that argument there. So, I mean, we're talking about the top 2. So what about Ezekiel Elliott? He's the only running back in the mix. So
I said David Johnson should be in there.
So do you think Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers should be in that mix in the top 5 for MVP?
Matt Ryan definitely could be up there. He's going to have his numbers have to be up there too.
All right, so that is enough right now on the MVP race. So Derek Carr is supported by a great cast, and Brady and his numbers all look. I didn't catch the last part that someone said on Periscope there. So let's just make a point here. Derek Carr, Tom Brady. Don't think with your freaking heart. Think with your freaking mind and logic. Who do you pick, Derek Carr or Brady?
I pick Derek Carr.
Okay, I pick Ezekiel Elliott. That's who I pick. This person on Periscope says Carr. I'm picking Ezekiel Elliott. So, because he is a beast in the freaking running back position. So, let's go ahead. And Connor from Connecticut was talking about the Pro Bowl. And again, we're at the 22-minute mark, and I just want to welcome again everybody to the show. If you're just tuning in, you are listening to Sports Insider out of Boston, Massachusetts. We are actually in California, and my name's Glenn Spillman, Shawn Allen, and you're listening to Armed Radio Global. So, 2016 Pro Bowl selection. So let's just go down on these. Man, that sounded bad. So we've got the Arizona Cardinals running back David Johnson, and he is going to the Pro Bowl. So we'll just briefly go over these. Atlanta Falcons MVP candidate Matt Ryan. Okay, going to the Pro Bowl. You've got Baltimore Ravens Justin Tucker, most accurate kicker in the NFL, so they say.
What?
Buffalo Bills running back LaShawn McCoy.
Definitely.
Carolina Panthers. There's 4 Panthers. You've got Greg Olsen. You've got Luke Kuechly, who actually got hurt earlier in the year. Going on there. There's 2 others that aren't mentioned. Chicago Bears. The coach. The coach. The coach.
For what?
Well, don't really know. They didn't say. You've got Cincinnati Bengals, wide receiver AJ Green. despite missing 5 full games. So, Cleveland Browns, a winless freaking team. So, you would like, you're back in the day you had Arsenio Hall, and he's like,
things that make you go,
huh. So, the Browns, Joe Thomas. I don't know, and I don't freaking care.
No, I don't know. I mean, is it for protecting the quarterback because RG3 got hurt?
Well, anyway, you got Dallas Cowboys, and it's a given. You got Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott going to the Pro Bowl. Denver Broncos, Player of the Year candidate Von Miller, and cornerbacks Chris Harris Jr. and Aqib Talib. Okay? Detroit Lions, absolutely none. No players going to the Pro Bowl. Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers. That's kind of a given.
Yeah.
And is he going on name alone, you think? Houston Texans, Jadeveon Clowney. Indianapolis Colts, Andrew Luck will be going to the Pro Bowl. Jackson Jaguars, no player named to the Pro Bowl.
I concur.
Kansas City Chiefs, Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
The Rams, that's another one that makes me want to freaking vomit. Defensive tackle Aaron Donald. Well, okay, if anyone's going to go to a Pro Bowl on any team, even if they freaking suck, if a defensive player is stepping up, it's kind of I kind of ask myself why, because I just don't understand that. Dolphins defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh. I don't know why on that
I
one.
haven't really heard his name this year.
Harrison Smith from the Vikings. He missed the past 2 games, sprained ankle, but he's going. New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady. And safety, Devin McCourty. So all you people listening in Boston right now, that should make you happy. And running back LeGarrette Blount has 15 rushing touchdowns, is not going. They said, nope, you could suck it, you're not going. New Orleans, no.
Drew Brees did not, I don't understand that.
No.
Wow.
No. They gave no. I mean, New York Giants, Odell Beckham Jr. I could see that. Pretty much it. Jets. The only worthy one was lineman Leonard Williams. Oakland Raiders offensive lineman Kalichi Osmeli. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Rodney Hudson. Okay, you've got a guy that's going for his second running, an MVP, and he's not named going to the Pro Bowl.
Are you kidding me?
We're at the PG show.
How are you telling me that Derek Carr's not going to the Pro Bowl?
Can't drop an F-bomb.
I don't get that.
I'm just looking at the list right here in front of me, man, and he's not on it.
Wow.
Pittsburgh Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell. Philadelphia Eagles left tackle Jason Peters. Chargers.
Philip Rivers.
Casey Hayward. San Francisco 49ers. You freaking cry holes. No players.
Didn't think so.
You got the Browns.
Who have the
has
worst
0 wins, and the Whiners at least have a number in the freaking win column. Nobody. Seattle Seahawks, Cliff Averill, Buccaneers, wide receiver Mike Evans did not reach the Pro Bowl. If, that's an if. So, I mean, this isn't set in stone yet. I mean, these are still some preliminary stuff, but this is a preliminary.
Nobody's asked the question how Derek Carr is up for the MVP running, and he's number 2 in the MVP running, but he's not going to the Pro Bowl. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, that is dick-ridiculous.
What about the Titans and the Redskins? Nobody?
You got left tackle Taylor Lewan, Tennessee Titans, and Washington Redskins tight end Jordan Reed.
I can go with that.
Okay, so that's pretty decent. People on Periscope are quiet tonight.
They've been just cracking off.
All right, so again, we are on Armed Radio Global out of Boston, Massachusetts. Just a couple days after his DUI arrest, he being Michael Floyd played for Arizona. So the Patriots said, "Hey, we'll pick him up. We'll pick up the drunk." And Shawn was kind of all for it. Me, I'm not for it. You're rewarding his bad behavior with say he goes to the Patriots, he's playing, and the Patriots say he wins the Super Bowl. So the guy is a freaking drunk, DUI, probably going to jail for a minimum of 45 days, and that is an absolute mandatory sentence. I don't care. I mean, you're going to have a freaking slick lawyer to get you out of that one, brother, because here's the thing. I watched the complete video of freaking Michael Floyd drunk in his car. So let me lay it out for you. So people that are listening to us in Boston and all over the world, if you have not seen this video, let me paint a picture for you. You've got Michael Floyd chilling out in his car, head back, asleep. The car is in gear. He is at a stoplight. A cop is banging on the door. He's got a light shining, banging on the window. I mean banging freaking hard. Finally, Floyd rolls down the window. The cop is telling him to put his hands on the wheel to turn the car off, and Floyd's like, he's acting like a complete moron. He doesn't even understand what's going on. Cop had to call his partner over. Guy held his hand while the cop reached in, turned the car off. Floyd was still, what's going on? He goes, he sits down on a curb, looking up, and the cop is like, "Do you know why or why you're out of the car sitting on it?" And then Floyd had no freaking idea. The cop told him, "You were at the stoplight for 2 successions." That means he sat there, the light turned green, sat there, turned red. Turned green, sat there, turned red. So, if his foot slipped off the brake and he went into traffic, he could have ran over pedestrians. He could have had a head-on collision.
This was in the AM. There's people actually out?
Yes, there's people out.
It's 3, 5 a.m. in the morning?
Let me ask you a question, brother. You have been out. You're a party animal. You've been out many times at night.
I don't know if they're in a main city or if they're in a rural area.
Yes, they're in a main freaking city.
3 a.m. in the morning. Well, yeah,
yes.
I mean, it could happen, yeah. I understand that. I was just wondering if it was 5
a.m. And if you say 5 a.m., what? Yeah, because people are going to freaking work. I tell you what, if you're on the 405 in L.A., that's freaking, oh yeah, you're going to be bumper to bumper. But, yes, there are people out there. So, dig this, people. Let me just read you this real quick. I'm going to read you a little paragraph of the Arizona state law about DUI. So, Arizona, and this is a direct quote. Everything that I read is exactly what the law says. Arizona state law carries harsh penalties, including jail time, for having a blood alcohol level over 0.15, and even tougher penalties for blood alcohol content over 0.20. If Floyd is convicted for the first offense of operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol content over 0.20, he faces a mandatory jail sentence of at least 45 days, will have to use an ignition interlock system, pay a $500 fine, and contribute $1,000 to a prison construction fund and $1,000 to a public safety equipment fund. Penalties for a second offense within 84 months of first conviction are even more harsh. This is Floyd's, now dig this, ladies and gentlemen, of the jury. This is his second DUI arrest. He has had in the past, on his first DUI, 0.19. when he was arrested in 2011 while at Notre Dame. When he got arrested, he was wearing a Notre Dame beanie. Freaking great,
publicity.
Yeah.
They were proud.
Yeah, the crowd over here is just like, we got one woman just crossing her arms in disgust. Well, ma'am, and ladies and gentlemen listening, and people in Boston listening on Armed Radio Global, his blood content was 0.217. Yeah. A lot. That's twice the amount. More than twice the amount. And so, in the Patriots...
0.217?
0.217.
Wow.
So, he's at that point to where he's going to have a mandatory jail time. So, after they're not going to have any court proceedings. I'm sure his lawyer will be like, let's pass it off until March or whatever after the football season.
Probably.
So theoretically, a drunk DUI guy that got arrested, released from the team, got picked up for the Patriots, say they win the Super Bowl, the guy's got a Super Bowl ring, you're rewarding this guy for bad behavior. So, Shawn, what in the hell was Robert Kraft thinking when he picked this cat up? What did Bill Belichick say to Mr. Kraft to make Mr. Kraft go, all right?
Just like he has in the past with Randy Moss and other various players of that caliber who were troubled children. He's like, look, they're a great talent. Let me bring them here. Look, they won a championship with him. With past players. Because he has a exemplary record, in the past.
Oh yeah, exemplary record. Yeah, I got a DUI 2000.
I'm talking about Belichick's record of rehabbing players who have troubled past.
All right.
Or trouble present. That's why Kraft probably doesn't question it. He's just, let me know, if you're going to do this, let me know when I got to write the check out for, pretty much. What we're going to pay these guys. Well, that's why he's not questioning it. Now, if this guy comes there and he can't, there's been a couple people, they've come there for a season or so, and they can't help. There you go.
All right. All right. So you're telling me that a DUI is not an egregious offense, but
I'm not saying it's not.
If it was domestic violence or sexual assault or something like that.
Oh, well, no, I don't think they would touch that.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on from Mr. Floyd. And the last thing that we're going to talk about at NFL, as you guys know, Gus Bradley, the coach, former coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, was fired after the game. Fired. Well,
you're fired.
After the firing, he still got on the team plane and he flew back to Jacksonville, shook hands with the players, blah, blah, blah. There's several players that were pissed off that happened. They did not want him on the plane. That's not loyalty at all, man. Wow. And there were a lot of players who were very uncomfortable talking to him. But what I don't understand is why were they mad? It's their coach.
So is that why they fired him? Is because players have been complaining?
Mm-mm.
I mean, you know what I mean?
They fired him because he freaking lost.
Right.
So, yeah, that's why you get fired, because you're a freaking loser. So now, all you MMA fans and all you MMA lovers, let's talk a little bit about UFC. It's coming up next weekend. You got UFC 207 that's coming up. Okay? And Mr. Roseville, if you're still watching, you said that you might come check that out with us. If so, hey, that's cool. Let's rock and roll. So it happens in Friday night. Okay? So do you think, Shawn, that UFC 207, Friday night, December 30th, do you think being on a Friday night, it's going to affect their viewership? Yes,
I don't think so, because there's a lot of people at that time, right at the end of the year, there's a lot of people who take time off, who save time up to take off that time of the year, who are be off. And doing it Friday is probably a smart play, because New Year's Eve will there would be a lower attendance rating. on pay-per-view.
All right.
Pay-per-view sales would definitely hurt. I don't know if in-arena sales would hurt because the fights usually end about, 9, depending on where it's at. Pacific time, it'd be like 9 Pacific time, 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock. Still before New Year's, but I see why they did it. I don't think it's going to hurt it.
Well, I'll tell you what, on New Year's parties, I mean, like here in Napa Valley, they got stuff rolling out at 3, 4 o'clock. They got wine tastings and parties and pre-parties.
That's why I say pay-per-view would hurt badly.
Yeah.
On the pay-per-view side.
So, Twitter fan, Francisco Mendoza, because I was talking about reaching out to Ronda Rousey's camp, asking her some questions, doing some stuff. So, he asks, what is one of the biggest obstacles Ronda Rousey has had or is having to overcome to prepare for this fight? Well, the biggest obstacle is herself, in her mind.
That and her stand-up game is not as good as it could be.
Exactly. If you stand toe-to-toe with Rousey...
If she gets Nunez on the floor early, it's going to be a wrap shortly.
Yeah. But we already went through the the stats on that one. But the early prelims on Pacific time, the early prelims start at 3:30 in the afternoon. So you've got that going on, and then the main card starts at 7 o'clock. So you got the early prelims, you got the prelims starting at 5, and you got the main card starting at 7.
Right.
So let's go with the top main card fights. Let's go over those. Okay. So you got Louis Smolka versus Ray Borg. Okay, you've got Louis 11-2-0, Borg 9-2-0. So the submission...
About the same amount of experience.
Right. The submission, Borg holds that over because he's 67%, over Smolka's 45%. You have striking landed. Smolka beats Borg on that by twice. Accuracy is pretty close, 49% compared to 50%. And defense on the takedown, they're both kind of the same. Borg is at 50, and Smolka is at 55.97.
Pretty evenly matched.
Yeah. So Borg, his takedown accuracy is better. So on that one, so let's go ahead and take your pick on the main card fight there. Who do you have, Smolka or Borg, and why?
It's kind of a flipping of the coin here. I mean, literally, because it's basically going to be who gets out on who quicker. If one of them gets out early on the other one and takes them down, and the one with the higher submit ratio or percentage would be Borg, right?
So who do you have?
I take Borg on this.
All right.
I think if he gets him on the ground early, it could be a wrap.
Okay, I'll take Borg as well. Now, my honestly, and I know people want to see Nunez and Rousey. Okay? I'm not denying that, but the fight that I want to see is T.J. Dillashaw and John Lineker. That's the fight I want to see.
Lineker's got a bit more experience, but Dillashaw has a better record.
I mean, Lineker has almost twice as much experience, but he's got 4 more losses than Dillashaw.
Height and reach are about the same.
Yeah,
close.
The knockout TKO is kind of the same on that.
But
the punches landed per minute, 5.3 for Lineker, 5.44. So it's kind of the same on that. But
accuracy goes to Dillashaw.
I'm taking Dillashaw all the way.
Yeah, I'm taking Dillashaw as well.
100% Dillashaw without question. Now, a really interesting one. You've got Fabricio Werdum and Cain Velasquez.
This is going to be an interesting fight here.
That, I think, is going to be a slugfest. At least I hope it's a slugfest.
I think Velasquez wins that one.
Yeah, I'm going to take Velasquez. I mean, they're kind of but as far as knockout and TKOs go, Velasquez 86% to
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I'm taking Velasquez.
That tells me that Velasquez, he aims and targets his slug power.
Right now, you've got we got another brand new viewer on on Periscope, and so welcome to the show. And again, for those of you who are just joining, you are listening to Sports Insider on Armed Radio Global out of Boston, Massachusetts.
This fight right here, interesting to me.
Dominic Cruz and Cody Garbrandt.
Well, you have Garbrandt, you have the Cruz who has twice as many fights, but you have Cody Garbrandt who has 10-0.
90% knockout ratio.
Yeah,
90. 90.
That means that means when he I've seen him throw a wild punch, he's still targeting.
I'm telling you, a lot of people like last night's crew, they were saying that experience. Well, when you got a guy that's 10-0 and his knockout ratio is 90 freaking %, oh, I'm going to take him.
Now slugging, and I honestly, a lot of his fights have ended early. The last time we saw him put to bed was early. I mean, it was second round, boom. He was on him and dude was out. He caught the dude, pow.
But you know what? I'm going to take Cody Garbrandt on this one.
All right, so am I.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we went over this last night, but we'll go over it again tonight because we got new people watching and obviously new people listening. You got Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes. Now, Nunes' stand-up game is a heck of a lot better than freaking Rousey.
Well, we haven't seen Rousey's been training, so maybe
and Rousey's submission game is obviously better. So, the thing is,
experience about the same.
So you're going to have Rousey, and her camp is saying you got to have a better stand-up game. Then you have Nunes' camp saying you got to have a better ground game.
But don't think Rousey's not going to try to take her to the ground and get her down early.
No, Ronda is. And again, so who do you pick on this?
I'm going with Ronda.
I'm going with freaking Nunes. If I can make it up to Tahoe, I would love to.
Favorite is Nunes' favorite on this?
I don't know. I don't have the Vegas odds on this.
I'm saying Ronda.
No, obviously
Is this a 3-round fight?
No. This is 5 minutes.
5?
5-minute rounds.
Oh, this is a championship fight.
So let's look that up. The Vegas odds.
I think Ronda takes it in 2 to 3 rounds.
You think so?
Yeah.
Whoa!
She's gonna come out with a bang, bro. We can talk all that mess, but you know what I mean?
All right, so the money line is Rousey minus 155, Nunes plus 125.
That means,
so you bet you got on Rousey you have to bet $155 to win $100. So Nunes you bet $100 to win 125. That's the money line.
What's the what are they saying as far as so they're favoring Nunes then?
No, Nunes is the underdog on this one. Yeah, no, Rousey is the.
Are they saying, or the odds makers saying what they think, how long the fight's gonna go?
That I'd have to do more research on. But on this other one, on beastfightsodds.com, you have Amanda Nunes plus 40, still Rousey minus 150. So yeah, it's like Cain Velasquez has the. He's minus 205. So you have to bet 205 to win 100. So I'm going to pick Nunes on this one. So last night people were asking, hey, what's your top this and what's your top that? Well, that has prompted me to do a little research today, and I did. So I had the top 10 earlier, but I'm only going to go over the top 5. Top 5 submissions. So let's start with number 5. Shawn, go ahead and read number 5.
Top 5 submissions.
The very last one. Number 5.
Timu Pacton versus Libali Gotti.
Fibili. So that was number 5. Number 4 was Chase Skelly versus Maximiliano Blanco.
And number 3 is Brian Ortega versus Diego Breda.
Now, the one that, my favorite one, I don't know why this is number one, but I'll tell you what the number two is. Number two is Misha Tate choking out freaking Holly Holm, dude. I mean, Misha Tate had that freaking rear naked choke deep into freaking Holly. Holly Holm was not coming back from that. Holly Holm was going to sleep. Bye-bye. Good night. See you freaking later.
She basically showed the world how Ronda should have beat her.
Right. And then Misha Tate...
don't think that Ronda's camp hasn't been watching that tape, too.
Yeah, but Misha Tate, her last fight...
She got... It wasn't to Amanda Nunes? Wasn't that to Amanda Nunes that she got choked out?
Dude, you and I were watching that freaking fight.
Yeah.
The chin, the arm was on top of the chin.
No.
It wasn't even hooked underneath.
Before the ref was like,
she didn't even have it for 3 seconds. Not even 3 seconds. She tapped out so freaking quick. I blinked and she tapped out.
right.
And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. And the number one, the top submission of 2016 was Ben Rothwell versus Josh Barnett. I don't know how that got number one. I honestly think that Misha Tate should have got the number one. But can you think of any other? I could think of a submission right now that I think should be the number one, and that was freaking...
oh, yeah, that definitely.
Diaz.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that should have been the first one. Shit. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that or that six guy or whatever. Welcome. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we've got about 9 more minutes to the show. You're listening to Sports Insider on Armed Radio Global, and we are I'm Glenn Spillman, and this is Shawn Allen. And if you guys at any time want to ask us a question, those of you who are watching, ask people that are listening in Boston, why don't you guys email us at sportsinsideronline@gmail.com. Ask us any sports questions. We will answer them for you on our following show, absolutely 100%. So there are a lot of people saying that 2016 was the year of the rear naked choke. Thoughts?
I could definitely dig that, going with that. I mean, yeah, I said the number one to me would be Diaz choking out Conor McGregor, shocking the world.
Oh, we've got Draz. Hey, what's up? Let me go over real quick some MMA. Someone says, I forgot to email about the meet for December 30th, UFC 107, but it's 207, so I will. So tonight, yes, please email us. So real quick on some baseball, for you Boston listeners, I don't know if the Boston front office, Montreal, Canada is watching us. What's up, guys? What's up, Montreal?
Hey, how about?
So the Red Sox are trying to give him some salary cap, so they got rid of Clay Buchholz to Philly. Did they get a hold of some weed? From California, some of that good freaking wedding cake stuff, man.
Maybe somebody dropped one of the bags and they got hold.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not a Boston fan at all. I'm a big Poppy fan, but he's gone.
Some crack to get to,
They got rid of Clay Buchholz to save some, and it really didn't save him too much. But yes or no, do you think they're going to regret it?
I think so.
Absolutely, man.
Wow.
There are some things that baseball franchises are doing this summer. Some of them are getting pitching, position players and whatnot, but not... A lot of them don't really think about the winning and whatnot, because the Arizona Diamondbacks, they're rebuilding their front freaking office. That's another crack-smoking team. No wonder the freaking guy was freaking DUI at the light. He might have been on the same crack that the Diamondbacks are, because they're rebuilding the front office. The front office doesn't win you freaking games.
No.
You know?
Rebuilding your lineup and restocking your talent.
The White Sox are taking apart the core. Kind of the same thing that the freaking Diamondbacks are doing. But you know what? This is way too long of a list We're going to probably go over this on tomorrow night's show, but I have some numbers for you guys. It's by the numbers in the UFC and some really interesting freaking tidbits of some stuff that I think you guys would be interested in. But I'm not going to talk about that right now because we only have just a few more minutes to the show. And so what we're going to do is we will obviously take your questions if you have any.
What about our picks for the NFL?
Huh?
Are we picking games for the NFL for the weekend?
No, this is Wednesday, man. We'll do that Friday. There's a lot of things that are going to go on between now and freaking Friday. I mean, hell. I mean, freaking Jones. We might pick Cowboys and Jones on freaking Saturday night after he's, smoked a few joints. You might be like, hey, Romo.
Come on down, brother.
Him and Romo rubbing freaking baby oil on each other and G-strings.
That's not a great thought.
I know it's not, but I mean...
Sad, I regret I brought that up. What about Thursday night's game?
Yeah, I'm bringing some visuals to our Boston listeners.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we'll talk briefly on tomorrow night's game. We'll talk some more tomorrow, but you've got the New York Giants 10-4 at Eagles. At Lincoln Financial Field, Eagles are 5-9. They're 4-2 at home, and the Giants are 3-3 away. It's kind of even. It's going to be 47 degrees. Not too bad to play football. Giants are favored by 2.5 points. Who do you got and why? So as far as the summary goes on that, briefly, the Eagles are favored to win, even though the Giants are favored, but that statistic-wise, on it's 56% that they got.
One thing you get a team up that's 5-9 is they have their rival that they're playing who's leading the division. Well, who's high in the division?
High, exactly.
Going to the playoffs, so you get riled up to derail your counterparts from your division. So I'm going to go behind. I'm going to take the Eagles.
I got to take the Eagles too because Wentz has just about the same statistics as Manning. He's got 3,385 yards.
I say 24-20.
I'm going to say 27-17 Eagles. That's who I'm going to pick on that action. So we've got about 3 more minutes, folks. And we want to, again, thank you guys for tuning in. We want to thank everyone in the Boston area listening to Armed Radio Global. And for those of you who do not have the app yet, get online, whether you got Android or freaking Apple products. Type in, tune in, get the app, then type in Armed Radio Global, look for the girl with the blonde hair and the bright red lipstick. You know what? I'm thinking 80s hair bands. And I'm thinking that would be a perfect album cover for like Motley Crue or maybe Poison. It actually looks like one of the
Connor asked, where do you think Encarnacion is going to go? He thinks the Giants.
Oh, Encarnacion?
He thinks the Giants as much as he hates them.
Well, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Oh yeah, but again, folks, on the TuneIn app, look that up. And again, we are Sports Insider. Look for our archive shows on Spreaker. But Armed Radio Global has plenty of radio shows that they play. One of them is, I believe, it's called Rock Talk with Amy Chiafalo. They've got plenty of shows on there. Check them out. It is awesome. We do a show. You could follow us on Facebook, Sports Insider Online. We do our sports show 5 days a week. And we will be back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So any last questions of the night? Any last thoughts, Shawn, that you want to wish these Boston listeners to? Hey, but we will be back Friday night, man. We're going to be rocking the house with freaking Armed Radio Global in Boston. And I'm going to go get me some Boston Lager. And I'm going to be having some Boston beer that night. And we're going to go over that night the Sunday's games. So we got just about a minute, man. So go ahead. Any last thoughts?
All right. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy your evening. And we will see you See everybody else tomorrow, and we'll see everybody on Armed Radio Global on Friday.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Sports Insider on Armed Radio Global. We will be back on Armed Radio Global Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys very much. We appreciate you listening. Appreciate you watching. My name's Glenn Spillman, listening to Sports Insider.
Shawn Allen.
Peace out. Wow.